Hello, so this is going to be the first video of a series about lifting. I'm pretty much going to explain in shorter videos certain lifting concepts, how to do certain lifts, how to get to certain strength standards. I think this could help a lot of you guys out, especially you newer lifters. So today I'm going to talk about supersets. Supersets are amazing. I utilize them a lot, especially in isolation movement. So you're probably asking, bro, what are supersets? Supersets are pretty much these, the concept of doing exercises back to back. For an example, I do a bicep curl, 6 reps, then I immediately go into a tricep push down, 8 reps, and after that I rest. Of course, you're thinking this is suboptimal, but you gotta realize that a lot of big guys like Natural Hypertrophy, Alex Leonidas, they utilize those exercise modifications. Also, the Silver Era bodybuilders, they utilize them in some form. The biggest benefit of supersets is the fact that they save a lot of time. You can probably cut your workouts in half by doing supersets. Then there's also the fact that it will bring up your conditioning, which will mean that your heart and lung capacity goes up. So this will give you the ability to train harder and for longer, which the more advanced you become, you need. You can't be limited by your cardiovascular system. That is a big limitation for a lifter. So you're probably asking, how do I apply supersets? So there are 2 cases where I would apply supersets. First of all, for antagonistic muscle groups, which means they have the opposite function and often position to each other. For an example, the bicep and the tricep. A pushing and a pulling movement. Then also this can even be applied to something like compound movements like a row and a horizontal push, or a vertical pull and a vertical push. And of course they can be intertwined, you can change them up. I would even say for a light leg exercise like the leg extension, you can superset that with a leg curl. And the other case where I would utilize supersets is when the muscles have nothing to do with each other. So for an example, you're doing a bench press and then you go into a calf raise. These muscle groups never overlap. I would especially use this for a compound movement and an unrelated isolation movement. The bench press and the calf raise is a good example. You could also do something like an RDL and lateral raises. Also your training experience will have an influence on how you have to utilize supersets, at least in my opinion. As a newer lifter, which means that you can't bench 2 plates, you can't squat 3 plates, and you can't deadlift 4 plates. I would utilize supersets only on isolation movements. The best example that I can give you are the arms. As a intermediate and advanced lifter, I would utilize them more. For an example, on upper body compound movements, but even combining the isolations with compounds. So for an example, you're doing an RDL and then you do the lateral raises. However, the reason why only intermediate and advanced lifters are, in my opinion, advised to do that is because novices don't have a lot of work capacity. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I want your opinion on this sort of format. Peace.